Madam Moderator, and thank you, callers, for your concerns, suggestions, and questions. I respond in this order based on how and when the questions were asked. One person called and asked about the clearing of land assistance, if there is any, and should there be any. I am not aware if there is any in terms of clearing the land, but I strongly believe that there should be. I'll give you one example which involves myself, and I'm sure it's not limited to me, but to many other farmers. There's an area in which I am farming where I was allotted some land. There was one portion that involved 8 acres to be fenced. I was only able to fence around 3. The other 5 is heavily forested. I've had ongoing discussions with the field officer, and I received encouragement to go ahead and clear it. I started doing so, but I had to get a heavy equipment / machinery, and the cost is very high. I have anticipated by the time the guy is done, it's going to cost over close to $20,000. Now, that definitely needs assistance and some form of subsidy. And I'm sure other farmers, not only livestock but crop farming, would have and still continue to experience similar situations. I say, if you're going to help someone, help them where they really need to get the help. Help them throughout. So I think there should be assistance for clearing the lands. Secondly, there was this guy who suggested, asked the question about the stimulus package, how does it benefit farmers? It has benefited farmers in many different areas. For example, it involves the giving of free seedlings and free seeds to be planted by farmers, both subsistence / backyard farmers and the larger scale farmers. So that's a benefit. When it comes to animal farming and animal farmers, they're still in the process of assisting by giving free fencing wire. I would like to go on record by saying I have received. Can more be done? Yes, but we still give thanks for what has and is continuing to be done. In response to the use of chemicals in farming, it's a very tough question. I would put it this way. Those of us who are doing our backyard farming / subsistence farming, I would strongly urge you not to use chemicals. But for those of us who are doing farming on a larger scale, it involves a lot of manual labor controlling the weeds and keeping them down. Also, there are some chemicals that are very good. If you remember, at one time, St. Kitts had an economy that was agricultural based. And as a kid growing up, I remember them strongly using, in fact, I learned it in school, NPK, nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. So some chemicals are good. Where that is the case, I strongly encourage them. Where it is not the case, I would tell farmers as far as you possibly can, avoid. Now when it comes to no rewards in farming, I smile and I receive your question and comment with respect. But first and foremost, there are some professions where monetary reward, and I'm assuming you're referring to that. There are some professions where monetary reward is not the first outcome. I can give you, for example, one of the lowest paid civil servants, or group of civil servants with qualifications, is teachers. Now, when it comes to farmers and rewards, there's a lot of rewards outside of the monetary reward. But it is true, monetary reward is very slow in coming. But what does that say? Number one, if you intend to go into farming, and if you are already in farming, for those who have the intention, patience must be one of your virtue. I'll tell you why. Take, for example, a livestock farmer. A cow takes 9 months to give an offspring once it has been impregnated. You cannot sell that offspring until it is like almost a year going on 2 years. So you will see no reward up to 2 years. That is why I said there needs to be subsidizing of especially livestock farming. How can you go to a bank to get a loan and tell the bank, please excuse me sir, ma'am, can you wait until at least 2 years before you begin to pay back? I don't know of any institution who is willing to do that. Consequently, I am saying again, subsidizing. Now, in terms of wrapping up, I must admit, based on what one of the comments where it is said housing needs are taking up lands that were once used for agricultural purposes, especially livestock. Livestock farming requires a lot of land. In fact, there is a ratio which says for cows, or cattle as we would say, you should have 1 acre of land for every cow or cattle that you have. No, that is a lot of land. Simply because our agricultural practice is mainly based on grass feeding. There are supplementary feeding that we can also give to minimize the land use as one solution. Another caller said that we should make a vision for duty-free. I strongly believe so. Not only for vehicles though. I think, and I would like to put this as a challenge in my wrapping up to the agricultural department, that all farming tools, equipment and / material should be duty-free. For there will come a time when the stimulus program giving fencing has ended, but farmers will still need to continue fencing. So I think that can be a form of subsidy. It just needs, the logistics can be worked out so that nobody cheats or takes advantage of the system. And last but not least, I'm going to make a statement of encouragement which would contradict or seem to go against the statement of no reward in farming. I would like to encourage those of us who are in farming to continue. It's hard, but it's also doable. And in light of our present situation, we are needed more than ever before. For those of us who are contemplating farming, I want to say to you, you are welcome to enter. Just remember, you're going to face challenges that you've never faced before. You're going to need patience. And I'll tell you 1 or 2 more advantages, especially when it comes to livestock farming. You learn a lot of patience. For animals don't always do what you want. In fact, most of the time they don't. And if you get upset, it's much more frustrating. They teach you patience, understanding. And I'll tell you one extra reward you get as a farmer, not only livestock, but even vegetable crop. When you spend time in the hills, the Rastaman would say with due respect, Zion, you learn a sense of peace, quietness, and you get, somehow you feel closer to your first love. So I want to encourage us all, like I would have done before in my opening statement, let us get back and go back to our first love. Let us deem agriculture as a good thing, and let us continue to eat, buy, and sell local. And I thank you all.
Thank you so much, Mr. DeCosta.